Okay, so here we have a situation where the dog's gone through a crack in the fence, and I'm going to turn the... Oh no, he's found his way out. He couldn't find his way out. Now he's found his way out. Come on. He was crying. I had to come back to get him. He couldn't find his way out through the crack he went into, and this is what happens to us in relationships. And sometimes we just cannot, by way of loyalty and faithfulness and the blindedness that causes us in our willingness to be devoted to things that we shouldn't be, we can't find our way out, at least at the start, until we wear down and run down enough to want to get out. And this could take years. Some people don't find their way out for 10, 20, 30 years. And then, consequently, they end up with all the trauma and mental health and psychosis and things that happen to us when we go into relationships that are not, or stay in relationships that have proven not to be healthy for us. It's not something we should push on with. The longer we try and stay in, the uglier and nastier the situation becomes. And in effect, or as a result, we end up on a course in life that possibly we had to take, but ultimately was not, come on mate, beneficial for us, because the consequences of that pathway caused us damage and harm, and hopefully that damage and harm was something that we could learn from. And if we don't learn from these things that happen to us, then that's when we end up in trouble, because we're not learning the lessons that life is trying to teach us. And this is where people start to go down the tubes. They really get on the wrong path. They become depressed and anxious and and all these things. Come here, come over here. All these things that start to take away our confidence and inspiration and things of this nature. We for the most part don't know any better. We don't know how to deal with these matters or face these matters in a way that's constructive. Okay, go, 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 go. Quick, come on, up. And we start to live the life in a way in which it's all downhill. We learn to find ways of happiness within this life by way of addictions and chemical use and all the rest of it. But we're heading downhill. We're harming ourselves faster and more unnecessarily, moving ourselves to death sooner than what we would have if we had not have gone down that pathway. Some people get to a point where they've had enough. There's crisis and things happen to them. Come on mate, please. No. Crisis, and pain and loss, and things that shock them into an awakening, and they decide, no, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm not going to be this anymore, it's too much, it's done too much damage to me, and I don't want to suffer this anymore or be a part of it anymore. And they realize that the choices that they're making and the chemicals and substance, alcohol, devil's lettuce, and all this other stuff is not working out for them the way that they thought. Come on, mate, please. Now, with this said, as I just said before, some people find their way out, but others don't. And they go through, and I've seen these, dozens of these, many friends and family members. Here, get off the road. Come over here. Come on, quick, hop. Many friends and family members who have killed themselves by nicotine and alcohol. They're the two main ones that seem to have some kind of justification associated with them. I mean, come on, mate. If you die from alcohol or nicotine, it seems to have a glorious aspect associated to it. But really what it is at the end of the day, come on, mate, please, quick, is just self-neglect and self-abuse and a slow form of suicide by way of chemicals and things that, as I said before, many that go down that road don't find their way out of. And there's all different reasons for this. This isn't attacking the person themselves, it's just revealing what's harming them, the choice that they've made to bring harm upon themselves. Now, these people usually cooperate in groups. They'll hang around like-minded people who going down the same rabbit hole of harm and mental health and illness and addiction and all the rest of it. They've got their demons that are holding them in that pattern by way of influence and aggravations and triggers and things that keep them there. And the negligences in the way demons influence people that hold them there, and the fears and other negativities that demons do to people to keep them there. And this is how the masses will cooperate against those that are on the straight and narrow, and they'll have a resentment towards others that did not go down the rabbit hole. But when the pain and loss and the suffering associated with these things becomes too much, Hank, becomes too much, then, sorry, just harassed a person up the street there. Come on, mate. Becomes too much. They realise that those that didn't go down that rabbit hole, didn't choose that way of life, are probably an example for them to access a return to a happy and normal, healthy life. They want to get around people that, from a distance, are able to, by way of example, give them the strength and mindfulness to be able to want to find their way out. And in the back of their mind, they see these people that did get through life without harm and hurt and addictions and things, and they use those memories. This is really key stuff, guys. They use those memories of the good times without all the stuff alongside the pain, and they use those memories to dig their way out. They dig their way out bit by bit. It's micro-incremental. It's not all of a sudden. Come on. And usually it's one step forward and 2 steps back. And you have to accept that. It's not failure, it's a journey, a hard journey where you micro-incrementally find your way out. You find your way out of it all. But they do it on the example of the people that they remember that enabled them, well, to try and stay straight, that chastised them, that kept them on the straight and narrow. They look back to those people. They've had enough of the pain from the choices that they've made. Now, a lot of these people won't. A lot of these people will double down, make excuses for themselves, feign illnesses and diseases to justify their use of this, whatever chosen drug it is. Come on, please, mate. Justify the uses of their chosen drug, no matter how much it's hurting them or harming them. And it affects everything, and most of all it affects their relationships with other people and their relationships with themselves.